Hello, it is Vlogtober, day 27. It is a blustery day here on the float house. It is so blustery, so windy. We've got a little bit of wave action happening, and I'm gonna swing you around this way. And it's so windy that the lights are moving today. But there is no better day than to make a beautiful cup of tea and to share with you the first release from Knitvent 2022. So let's grab a seat on the couch. I am so excited to share this one with you today. It is so windy today that I've actually felt the house move a couple of times, and that popping noise is from the wind hitting the outside of the house where the fan is, so we get this weird popping noise in the float home. All of the strange things that happen when you don't live on land. Today, I am so excited to share window one from Knitvent 2022 with you. But before I do that, I should probably introduce myself, because I don't think I did that in my opening showing you all the waves. I am Tracy, and I am the podcaster of Knitting on the Float. I used to be called the Comfy Red Couch when we lived in Toronto, but when we moved to Vancouver, moved to a float home, floats, knitting, made sense to do a name change. We have got the couch uncovered because it is a special day. Window one from Knitvent is now open, and the Anthology Throw has been released. If you've been following along all month, you will know that I have been calling this an epic project. And if you've seen photographs on Instagram, Ravelry, Gumroad, wherever, if you've seen any of the Anthology Throw photos, pictures, you will understand why I was calling this epic. And this is only the half pie of it. This is, let's see if we can, it's very challenging to share on the camera because it is so big. So this is half of it right here. And of course, the full epic beauty of this throw is hard to capture in a little tiny box that is sitting on a tripod, but I will do my best. So this is the Anthology Throw, where many people will have used minis. I decided to go with 5 full skeins. You don't want outside in this weather, Scout. It is yucky out. You really want out? Crazy dog. It's yucky out there. I'm gonna let her out, and then I'm gonna come back and chatter more about this beautiful throw. For my test knit, I decided to use 5 beautiful 100-gram skeins of the Wool Barn. And I started off in the center here using Fairy Hill. And I used a variety of yarns. I used Smooth Sock, I used Plush Sock, and I used Twist. So, Fairy Hill. And then I did my color changes where if I was using minis, after 5, I would then switch. So at color 6, I then switched to this gorgeous flutter. And then at color 11, this is hard to hold. Color 11, I switched to this gorgeous skein of Blossom. Color 16, and I always forget this one. This one is called, this is Victorian Rose, Aurora. So where color 16 would have gone to the end of 20 is Aurora, and then from 21, I used this beautiful skein of Victorian Rose. And if you checked in earlier in the month, This is the one I accidentally faded by leaving it on the knitting table, but you know what? I don't think you can tell. And I think just the way these colors flow together, I was wanting kind of a gradient look, and with these pinks, sort of like a pinky mauve, I am absolutely thrilled with how my test knit has turned out. And the Anthology Throw it looks complicated, but it's really quite a simple knit. The hardest part is probably the cast on, and Helen has a tutorial, so if you're not quite sure how to do the start off for a circular pie shawl or pie throw, it is really quite easy, and then you just tuck your ends in. And it's a mix of yarn overs, knit two togethers, S2KPs, or is it SK2Ps? I always get them mixed up. I got them right in here, but I always get them mixed up in my head. Anyway, so easy stitches, lots of knitting. I do have to say, even though it is huge, it was hard to put down. When I would pick it up, it's wonderful, simple knitting. It's got that little bit of interest every few rounds. And when I talked about knitting this, I couldn't even say I've got 10 more rounds to go because it would give it away, but it's hard to keep secrets sometimes. I had a really hard time sleeping last night. I was just so excited to share this beautiful, beautiful throw on Ravelry. And there were a few people I wanted to share photos with as well. And of course, I couldn't do that before the pattern was released. And one of those people was lovely Karina of Louie and Lola Yarns. And she's been doing a breast cancer fundraising, and she's been working with the Grocery Girls and Thread and Maple as well. And they have been putting out daily prizes for the past week, I think. I think it's about a week. I get lost in time with Vlogtober. And as soon as I shared it with her, I knew I had to ask her if she wanted it as a donation for the breast cancer fundraiser. It is pink, and it just really felt like that was what the destination of this throw should be. So while I am sharing this with you today, it will not be on the float house much longer because it is going to be used as a prize as a bonus finale prize for the breast cancer fundraiser that Karina of Louie and Lola Yarns, Thread and Maple, and the Grocery Girls are working together to do. So they've raised quite a lot of money for breast cancer research, and Karina's goal is $20,000. I don't know, it just sort of seemed like it's the least I can do to donate this beautiful shawl. So definitely lots of love has gone into knitting this epic shawl, and I'm just really happy that I'll be able to share it in a fun and very helpful way. So anyway, this is my Anthology Throw. It won't be mine for long. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I want to share about it. Definitely an easy knit. If I were knitting it in December with minis, I probably could keep up. We are moving right now. The wind is so bad. We are moving. I've got to just tilt you up. The lights are swinging. It's like I'm a dog and I see a squirrel. But yeah, we're sort of a little bit discombobulated. Anyway, if I were knitting this in December, 5% a day. I mean, I did do this in under a month while also filming Vlogtober. Yeah, I think 5% a day is definitely doable, but it is more challenging than previous Knitvent releases with the minis. So it will take you just a little bit longer, but oh my goodness, so worth all the time involved. And I'm so pleased with how this is. I have to share a picture with you of when I blocked it. I had to clear a space up in the loft, and I'll pop in a photograph of how it was blocked. And then yesterday morning, I took photographs. I had such a difficult time narrowing down the photographs. And it's really hard to photograph a pie shawl, but I was really quite pleased with how the photos turned out. But when you're working with gorgeous yarns like these wool barn yarns, and a beautiful pattern from Helen, it's hard not to capture the full beauty. Anyway, Anthology Throw. Knitvent window 1 is open. Which yarns are you going to use? Are you going to use a set of minis that maybe you're getting for Advent? Are you going to use some beautiful bits that you have left over in your stash? Are you going to pull out some beautiful skeins? One of my thoughts was to knit this with some beautiful blue brick yarns I had in the colorway Pride. I thought that would really look neat to do a gradient. I knew I wanted to do a gradient, but while there are so many different variations that you can do, I'm so happy with this one. Now, I'm feeling like it's a squirrel moment again. I've got to look out the window. There is, and I'm just going to pick up the tripod, a tugboat. This is a small tugboat, actually. We're not going to go outside because it's not so nice. But this tugboat is carrying this huge barge, and what they are doing is they are driving piles. And my neighbor and I, when we went for a walk this morning, were watching them on the river, and they are driving these metal piles. Those are big metal tubes into the river. But look at that, Smitty number 1, and Smitty number 1 is driving nice and calmly compared to some of the other boat drivers, but this is going down the river. I'm going to pop you over to this window here. Look at these guys on the back. Oh, we're going a little bit crooked. That's a little bit worrisome, isn't it? Squirrel, squirrel. Oh, they are opening the bridge right now. I'll zoom in. And in the past, they've had to secure the crane and bring the crane down when they've gone through the bridge, just so it doesn't swing. They're now just straightening the barge out. Ah, tugboats. They tend to distract me. And I'm talking about something really amazing too. Anyway, the fun stuff that happens off the float house, that sometimes you just stop talking about beautiful knitting just for a moment. It's going to go through the bridge. Who knows where it goes to after that, but a little distraction. Let's go back to knitting though, okay? There really is never a dull moment living on the float house. And yes, I'm a little bit like a squirrel where, oh, there's something going on. Gotta look. You never know what's gonna happen on the float house. I wanted to quickly share my beautiful bits here. I popped in the leftover yarns from my project into the top of, it's getting very squished in here, but let me grab those out and show you how much yarn, and I did share this the other day on Vlogtober, but I will share it again. There we are. So this was my remaining yarn left over from the Anthology Throw, and this was Fairy Hill, and I've put all of my yardages, leftovers in Ravelry. Fairy Hill, I had this much left over. Flutter was the next one, so this was my color B, and this one was minis 6 through 10, and that was the one I used the most of. And then my color C, this would have been 11 through 15. This was Blossom. And then the next one I used was Aurora. And I believe I have the exact same amount of these two left. I think there were 13 grams left of both of these. So Aurora. And then my final yarn, which got a little bit faded, my Victorian Rose. These were colors 21, 22, 23, 24. So the equivalent of 4 minis. So there's a little bit more of this one left. So my beautiful leftover bits, and who knows what project they might end up in again. Maybe another Knitvent project. I don't know. I still haven't chosen all of my yarns yet. Anyway, putting those back in my lovely yarn jar. So, Anthology Throw, window 1. Window 2 is in my beautiful Bags by Awesome Granny bag, and I am going to share my yarns with you. Now, when I originally was choosing out my yarns for this, I had thought about using 6 skeins of Viola Cashmere Silk. I had these ones. This is Garden Ghost, which is my favorite Viola color. This one is Wild Rose. I think this one is Cosmic, but I could be wrong. I'll have to look it up. Anyway, this was one set of Emily's cashmere silk that I had bought, and then I bought another set at the same time, and that is, I decided to use those 3 instead. So I have used Ghost, Dew, and how appropriate, Sea Storm. Today we're kind of having a bit of a sea storm on the Fraser River. Anyway, these are my colors for Project 2. I've decided to only go with 3 colors, and I'm loving how it's turning out. It's going to be a fabulous project for more minis, or if you've got some leftovers. It's pretty versatile to make some changes to. This will be, released. It's not a podcast unless I'm throwing yarn away. Oh, it's not a podcast, it's a vlog. Knitvent Window 2 will be released next Thursday, so I will share that. We'll be back to regular podcast schedule next Thursday, so I will share that with you then. This one is currently attached to my project, which is now at 90%. I expect to finish this off today, and then I will start the next one. So I'm having a fun time just being a little step ahead of everyone else as the Knitvent patterns are released. I have seen the whole collection. It is amazing. Can you hear that wind? Anyway, Knitvent 2 will be next week, but until then, let us enjoy the knitting of window 1. Scout has decided that it is too blustery outside, and she has come in because it is much nicer to be here on the couch. Anyway, for day 27, I am so happy that I have been able to share with you the beautiful, beautiful Anthology Throw. If you are choosing to knit it, I hope that you love every stitch. And if you are thinking that you would love to win this, I'm sorry, I have to tell you, gorgeous, gorgeous throw, if I do say so myself, please visit Louie and Lola Yarns on Instagram. Karina has all of the information about the raffle there. It will be a very quick turnaround, so it won't be up for long, but I'm just so happy that I can help in such a small way. For tomorrow, I think we are going to go traveling. We are still bringing in video from my August family trip from Vancouver down to Orlando, Florida, to Toronto, and then back to Vancouver via Kentucky. So I think tomorrow we will probably drive from Toronto to Kentucky, and then the month is closing in on me. I need to fit in another travel day, and then we'll see what else comes up. I know I want to get to painting, but I'm thinking that I might leave painting till early next week because we're back to regular podcasting next Thursday. And well, I will be able to share one finished object and maybe some yarn spoilers for some other projects. I'm not going to have a whole lot of knitting to share, so maybe we'll do the painting next week and then I can put that in there rather than trying to paint with a camera following me around for Vlogtober. It's not a camera following me around, it's me setting it up on a tripod with paint all over my hands. The main thing is the paint has been picked up, it is in the house, and I just need to set aside the day to paint. But tomorrow, travel day, and I'm looking forward to sharing that with you. Have a wonderful October 27th or whatever day it is for you. If you are looking into which yarns you're going to be choosing for your anthology throw, I hope you have the most wonderful time stash diving or however you're getting your yarns, looking through all your beautiful bits, finding something that you love online, whatever. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Have the most wonderful day, evening, whatever. Bye. Kind of feeling like today is a regular podcast day, even though it is only Vlogtober. I have the tripod set up in front of me. I have the red blanket on the back of the couch. Scout has joined me, so it is definitely feeling a little bit more like a regular Thursday podcast. And over here, I have put this out to do the final little snippet. I degreased the countertop before putting this beauty on it. It's been a while since I changed the date. That was October 5th, was Isaac's birthday. Let's change this to the 27th of October. Vlogtober, day 27. And that is release date of Knitvent 2022, the beautiful Anthology Throw. I have to tell you, it is choppy out here. The wind has died down at least for a second, but every so often we get a crazy gust that has moved the house. The lights are swinging. I have to tell you, it is the perfect day to stay home and knit on the float.